we are mildly interesting guys, and we talk about some stuff. So welcome to the podcast, we call it Joel the Podcast. It's Alex and it's Alex, here for Joel the Podcast. Bzz. Hello everybody, I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex.
And this is our podcast,
Joel.
Welcome to episode 68, I think. Is that right?
Yes, it must be 68.
Welcome to episode 68 of Joel the Podcast. I wanted to begin the episode by reminding everyone that Nathan does not owe me $1.
Alex does not owe me $1.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hesitant to even talk about sports because of how depressed I am.
Well, let's start with Purdue. Purdue got. I didn't actually watch this game, but I heard about it later.
You would have been angry if you watched the game.
Purdue got absolutely robbed out of a win, so I'm just going to count it as a win.
The thing is, this game actually had. As you probably heard, Purdue lost on a terrible pass interference call.
Right.
In the end zone at the end of the game.
Right.
But
I would have been the winning touchdown.
Right, but I would say that pass interference call was actually the second worst pass interference call of the game.
Yikes.
And by the way, when I say that, I also mean the second worst pass interference call that I've ever seen, because they were 1 and 2 respectively that I've ever seen terribly. The other one was in favor of Purdue. The quarterback was rolling out and he just threw it away, like it was totally to no one, uncatchable on the sidelines, and then they just called pass interference on the defense.
Wow.
So earlier in the game, so they were.
Maybe they felt like they had to make up for that.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I mean, it's such a terrible place to call. You do a makeup call, like
right on like the game deciding.
Don't do it
play.
on the game winning touchdown.
So yeah, congratulations Purdue for their rightfully deserved win, even if the final score didn't reflect it. Right. I will say though that Purdue should not have been in that position in the first place. No, probably not.
They gave up 34 points to Minnesota, who's 1-3, and they missed a field goal. So they should not have been in that position, but they should have won. All right, moving on to the Eagles. They lost to the Browns, which is actually not that surprising because the Browns are decent this year,
right?
If not good. But it was just such a disheartening loss because the offense played so terribly.
They seem to still be in first place.
They're in first place by half a game in the most competitive division in the NFL, I would say.
Yeah,
every team is tied for second, half a game behind the Eagles. And I think I'm pretty much at the point for the first time this season for the first time since maybe the first couple games, where I think the Eagles are probably not going to win the division.
Yeah.
Because Dallas won this week against a non-NFC East opponent, which was disturbing, and Washington also won a non-NFC East game this week. So,
wow. It's
not looking good, but in the NFC least, you're never out of it. Going back to Purdue 1 second, I thought it would be interesting at this point. They're 2-2, right, and they have 5 games left, I believe. So why don't we make a prediction here?
Wait, is it really 5 games? I thought it was like 3.
Oh, maybe it's 3. For some reason, I thought there would be. I thought they were playing 9 games this year.
They definitely could be, although they did miss 1 game already against Wisconsin.
Oh, that's right. So it'd be 4 games left, if I'm right.
Maybe it is 4 games.
They have 3 games left. You were exactly right.
Okay.
All right, so 3 games left. They're 2-2.
Yeah.
what do you think their final record is going to be? Not including any potential bowl game.
Not including any potential bowl games. I mean, I would love to say that they're going to be 4-3 at the end of the season, but I really think it's going to be 3-4 because even though we have Rutgers and Nebraska both at home, I can feel it. They're going to lose one of those games, and they probably shouldn't. And then, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think Indiana is a very winnable game.
Yeah, so you're saying 3-4 is your prediction?
3-4 is my prediction.
I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to go 4-3.
All right.
I don't actually know which two I think they're going to win, because I think even though Indiana is significantly better than Purdue this year, there's still a decent chance they'll play them close.
I think it'll be it's probably not going to be an embarrassing blowout. I certainly hope it's not going to be an embarrassing blowout.
Right. So I'm going to predict 4-3, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But speaking of Indiana, they lost.
They lost to Ohio State.
Barely. It was a one-score game.
Really shouldn't have been, though, because it was, I think it was at some point in the second or third quarter, it was 35-7.
Really?
Yeah, so...
I didn't actually watch the game, so I just saw the score.
I saw a little bit of it because Shelby's dad is an IU grad.
Right.
And he had the game on. So we watched the very end of it and watched IU very nearly do what they needed to do to tie it up. It was I don't want to say the words I have to give them credit, but if you could imagine me saying those words,
I have to do something similar to giving them credit.
Yeah.
Something akin to that.
I really thought that they were just going to absolutely collapse. And for a little bit, it looked like they were going to do that, and then they didn't quite. So
right. At least they lost. That's I guess the silver lining there.
Right. The most recent Big Ten team to beat Ohio State remains Purdue, which is excellent.
Which is necessary.
Yes.
I see IU has dropped to number 12 in the poll this week.
Well deserved. And Northwestern is at 11, which,
It makes me feel better about losing to them.
It does. Just Minnesota. Why'd we have to lose to Minnesota? Stupid Minnesota. I used to feel pretty neutral toward Minnesota, but now I pretty strongly dislike Minnesota.
Just from this one loss.
No, not from just this one loss, but this one loss certainly doesn't help.
Right.
It's been a bit of a growing resentment.
I think we lost them in basketball last year as well.
Yeah, we probably did, and this was a bit before our time, but some of the good Purdue basketball teams of the early 2010s were ravaged by injury at Minnesota. So I think the Purdue fan base as a whole has a special hatred for Minnesota, and I've been adopting that slowly over the past year or two.
Yeah, and speaking of the Purdue basketball team...
Yeah, they start soon.
They haven't released their schedule yet, but Liberty University has, and they're playing Purdue in their first game in 2 days, so on Wednesday. So hopefully we'll get some more games scheduled after that, because that's the only game currently on Purdue's schedule.
Where are you looking at that? If I just Google it, I do see a handful of games.
Oh, I'm just looking on the Yahoo Sports app. Oh, this is just November. Okay, I see. If we go to December, then there's more games.
Yeah.
All right, well, Purdue basketball is starting their season in 2 days. So hopefully we got a good year coming up, although I don't actually know how good they're going to be.
I'm not really sure how good they're going to be, but from the looks of things, there are a lot of other teams in the Big Ten that are going to be pretty good.
By the way, it looks like Iowa is ranked 5. That's surprising.
Yep. Iowa is 5. Illinois is 8. Wisconsin is 7. Michigan State is 13. So, certainly going to be a difficult season, I think. But I remain optimistic, as I always do about Purdue basketball.
Indeed. All right. Any other sports you wanted to mention?
No.
There is one. There is. The Sixers, who are not playing right now, had the NBA draft occurred this week.
Okay.
And the Sixers, the big news isn't really their draft, but they actually made 2 big trades this week. So they traded Al Horford for what ended up being Danny Green. They traded Al Horford and picks for Danny Green. And they traded Josh Richardson and a pick for Seth Curry, brother of Steph Curry. Yeah, brother of Steph Curry.
All right, off-brand Steph.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
Yep. So it's got a lot of 76ers fans pretty excited.
Yeah. They also fired their coach, didn't they?
They fired their coach a little while ago. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
they have
at the end of the season or something like that.
Right.
Have they replaced him?
Yeah, they replaced him. They have a new coach this year, and they have They don't have a new GM technically, but they hired a guy. They hired Daryl Morey, who's former GM of the Rockets, to be to be the head of their front office. So even though he's not holding the title of GM, he's basically, I think, operating in that role.
Sure.
I don't remember what his actual title is, but he seems to be doing we'll see when the season starts, but it appears right now that he's doing a pretty good job. So
time will tell.
Time will tell. All right. Did we get any emails this week?
Almost certainly not, but I'll check anyway.
All right. I don't really have anything to say while you're checking.
Well, I've already checked. And the answer is no.
All right. Let's start the episode then. So a few episodes ago, we did the Kidz Bop quiz again, where I quizzed Nathan on questions that I had come up with from looking through Kidz Bop lyrics. And today we're going to do the reverse. Nathan has spent a few hours looking through Kidz Bop lyrics and has come up with hopefully 12 questions. Let's see. Yep, 12 questions for me to consider. So let's get to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Do you have any predictions on your scoring? I think last time you got 2 out of 12.
2 out of 12. All right, I think I'm going to do better than that.
Okay.
I think I'm going to get 4 this time. 4 out of 12.
All right. Do you remember how well I did? Was it 2 or 3?
Last time?
Yeah.
I know you got at least 2.
Right. I definitely improved from 1. That's all I remember.
I think it was probably 2, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, I'll go back and check.
And of course, listeners, listen Maybe along never. And send us an email with what you got.
Right. No cheating.
No cheating. Otherwise, we'll know because I'm a hacker.
Right. Let's get started.
Before we start, we have to tell them where they can email us, which is our email can be found on our website, which is alexandalex@joelthepodcast.github.io/alexandalex@joelthepodcast.website. And for those of you first-time listeners, that is a real website that you can go to and find our email and other things. So yeah, please send us an email. All right, now let's actually start.
Now let's get started. Our first lyric is from the song Treasure by Bruno Mars.
By the way, what Kidz Bop albums did you pull these from?
I pulled this from Kidz Bop 25 through, I think, 28.
All right. Perfect.
Right, so we can go back in the future and avoid those. Or just avoid these songs, I suppose.
Right.
Alright, so from Treasure by Bruno Mars, the original lyric is, "You're wonderful, flawless, oh you're a sexy lady." Obviously that is too crude for Kidz Bop, so did they change... Well, maybe not obviously. But anyway, did they change the lyric to A, "You're wonderful, flawless, or you're a pretty baby"? B, "You're wonderful, thoughtless, I knew you'd drive me crazy"? C, "You're wonderful, can't miss, one in a million lady"? D, "You're super cool, all this, can't believe I'm not crazy"? Or E, "No change"?
Alright, so I don't think it's E. I think they would want to avoid the word sexy, if they could.
It's a fair assumption.
And so obviously, I mean, maybe it's not obvious, but A and B are way better than C and D.
Okay.
Because they change... Okay, so, let's say it outright here. A is clearly the best lyric.
All right.
Because it's pretty similar to the original in meaning and what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that's A. B, "You're wonderful, thoughtless, I knew you'd drive me crazy." That syllables match up and it rhymes, but the word thoughtless is throwing me off. It's like a negative thing, which isn't necessarily mean it's wrong, it's just weird.
Sure.
C, "You're wonderful, can't miss, one in a million lady." I guess the syllables line up, but the emphases, I don't know what the plural of emphasis is, but the emphases don't match up. It just sounds weird. "You're super cool, all this, can't believe I'm not crazy." Syllables don't match up. Super cool is just, like, why would they even change wonderful? I'm gonna eliminate D right now.
Alright, that's fair.
If I learned anything last time I played this game, it's that it can't be the best answer. So I'm gonna eliminate A.
Alright.
So it's either B or C. "You're wonderful, thoughtless, I know you drive me crazy, you're wonderful, can't miss, one in a..." Just calling the woman lady at the end is weird. Like, I guess they kept it from the original lyric, but, like, when you're using it as like, addressing them, it's weird.
"You're one in a million, lady."
Lady. It's like you're talking to someone, like, at a supermarket.
Hey,
Step
lady.
away, lady. Alright, I'm gonna eliminate that one because of that, and I'm gonna go with B. "You're wonderful, thoughtless, I knew you'd drive me crazy."
Alright, what an excellent start. The correct answer is B.
Thank you. I thought you were baiting me by saying it's a great start, and then it was E, like, which I eliminated right off the bat. Alright.
Congratulations.
One for one.
You've gotten the correct... on one hand, like, I feel good that I wrote a better line.
Yes.
On the other hand, I'm a little disappointed that you eliminated it because it was a better line and ended up choosing the correct answer.
Yeah. I think. See, this is interesting because now I can commentate on, like, my experience writing it compared to now doing it, and I think when I was writing them, it's always good. It's always good to write a better line because sometimes the best line is the actual answer, right?
Right.
And
that's not like a reliable strategy.
Right, it's not a reliable strategy
to always get rid of good lines.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. Well, 1 for 1, so I think I'm going to revise my estimation to 12 out of 12 based on that.
All right, we'll see if that holds up. Our second lyric is from Cruise by Florida Georgia Line. And the lyric is, "Yeah, when I first saw that bikini top on her," which I think is the first lyric of the song. And when I say I think, I mean I know because I just looked up the lyrics like 2 hours ago. So
trying to play it cool, but I actually know the entire song by heart.
Alright, so your options to potentially replace this line. We've got A, Yeah, when I first saw that pretty smile on her. B. Yeah, when I first saw that cool top on her. C. Yeah, when I first sang that Kidz Bop with her. D. Yeah, when I first went to hang out with her. Or E. No change. Maybe bikini top is not all that offensive to Kidz Bop.
Okay, so off the bat, none of these syllables match up with the original. So that's not going to help me. Right, so probably not no change. I think they probably changed this. Bikini, yeah. That has certain implications. Right, so right off the bat, I don't think it's C. I first sang that Kidz Bop with her. Just seems way too shoehorned in. Which I guess Kidz Bop could do, but I think they, in general, are not that bad about it. Yeah, when I first went to hang out with her. Okay, could be. It's kind of a neutral line. Yeah, when I first saw that cool top on her, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good lyric. Except that it's actually one syllable, whereas the rest are all two syllables. I guess the Kidz Bop is the same number of lyrics. I don't know. And then when I first saw that pretty smile on her, that one's calling to me. I don't know why. It's D, I feel kind of neutral on. Like, I don't think it's it, but I wouldn't, like, if it was, like, other answers that were bad that I didn't want to pick, then I could see myself picking that. I don't know why. I think A is so... It just seems like a Kidz Bop lyric. Yeah, when I first saw that pretty smile on her. The cool top on her. Pretty smile, cool top. I think I gotta go with my gut and pick A. Pretty smile.
All right. Interesting that you did that one was calling out to you so strongly. Because it is the correct answer.
Oh my goodness. 12 for 12, here I come.
Incredible. I am very impressed. Or maybe I'm just bad at coming up with alternate lyrics. Here we go. What?
I was gonna say, I mean, you can comment on this. I my first impression is that, and this is kind of the case usually with the ones we did anyway with the other guy, but like, it's usually down to like two. Like, usually there's like two that I can be like, okay, I don't really think it's these. And eventually I'll get to one where it's like, it just is that anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you experienced the same thing with the ones that I wrote, but usually it's not like, wow, it could be any of these.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay, let's see if this hot streak can continue. With number 3, a lyric from I Need Your Love by Calvin Harris. I don't know if I've ever heard this song before.
Really?
I don't know.
I'm surprised.
Maybe
I know this song.
Okay, well, maybe that'll help you out here. The original...
I need your time, and everything's wrong. Make it right. Okay.
Oh, no, okay, I've definitely heard that.
So high. Yeah, that's the actual lyric, so...
Yep, so the lyric in question here is where you were just at. I feel so high, I come alive. So, how did Kidz Bop alter this one? Is it A, let's go tonight, I come alive? B, I jump so high, I touch the sky? C, I feel alright, I'll tell you why? D, I feel so good, I come alive? Or E, no change?
Well, I gotta say, I'd be pretty surprised if it was not no change. So that's probably what I'm gonna go with, but let's go through them. Let's go tonight, I come alive. Right, so if they didn't change it, it's because I feel so high, they don't want to bring in any implications about drugs or anything like that.
Right.
So let's go tonight, that's fine, rhymes, makes sense. Makes mostly sense. Like, it's the line's talking about how you feel, and it's kind of saying let's go, which is not really the same thing, but that's fine. Okay, I jump so high. This is a pretty good lyric, because only changed one word, except then they said I touched the sky. Well, the thing is, if you're going to say I jumped so high, it makes sense to say I touched the sky. That rhymes. Actually, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I didn't want to alter your thinking, but now that you've said it, I do want to just... I was thinking all along that, yeah, I mean, I jump so high, I come alive. Not terrible, but it does make sense to change the second part if the first part
it's like the
is
second
changed.
part. The second part is fine, but if you're going to change to I jump so high, it makes sense to say I touch the sky.
Yeah.
So I think that's a decent change. I feel all right. I'll tell you why. This is not a good lyric because first of all, the point of the lyric is to say like I'm feeling good, right? And so this is just saying I feel all right, and then the second part isn't even like related. It's just weird. At least it rhymes and lines up, but it's weird. And I feel so good I come alive. I guess the idea for this one is it changes the least amount, but it doesn't rhyme anymore. So, but as I said at the beginning, I really think that they left this in. This seems like a fine lyric, so I'm going to go with E, no change.
All right, that is your first miss.
No!
The correct answer actually is D. I feel so good. I come alive.
Interesting. Perfect Streak is dead.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that would have been like my third guess. So I guess I'm not not doing so hot on that one. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe that was just bad luck. Let's see. You're still 11 out of 12 is on the table. So
I think it's inevitable at this point.
Let's take a look at this lyric from All of Me by John Legend. Side note, most of these songs that I chose, I know the song.
Right.
And I, kind of instinctively picked them because I was like, oh, there's definitely going to be changes in here, right?
Right.
So I kind of, just the idea of the song All of Me, I'm like, okay, that's not Kidz Bop. What are they going to do? So it's, anyway, that being said, it's time to find out what they did. Here we go. The lyric is, what would I do without your smart mouth? And your choices are A, what would I do without you around? B, what would I do without your smart mind? C, what would I do if you were gone? D, what would I do without your great smile? Or E, no change.
So, your explanation of your thought process for this makes me think this is what happened. You saw All of Me by John Legend, and you said, wow, that song's kind of about sex, so they must have changed it, right? And so you went into the song and said, okay, what did they change? And then what you realized is that most of the lyrics are pretty fine in this song. Because the song, in my opinion, isn't really necessarily about sex. It's more about, like, actual commitment and, like, loving someone, which is very wholesome and Kidz Bop-y, which makes me think they probably didn't change it. But what you thought is, well, I gotta go with something from this song. So you said, what would I do without your smart mouth? And these are actually pretty good replacements. Except for C. C is bad because the lyrics don't line up and it doesn't rhyme. So it's definitely not C. Or if it is C, I'll be pretty upset. But what would I do without you around? What would I do without your smart mind? What would I do without your great smile? Those can all be sung to have about the same rhyme scheme and syllables. So I think those are all pretty good, but I would be shocked if this was not E, no change. That's my guess.
All right. I guess you should be shocked.
Shock me.
The correct answer is B.
Oh, I thought you were about to say C, and I was about to get up.
No, I think. No, I don't want to spoil anything. We can come back and comment on some things later. What would I do without your smart mind?
This is such a fine lyric. Why would they change it? I can't even tell for sure what the implication is.
I guess having a smart mouth is kind of a negative thing. Like, you know, if you're a kid, if your parents are like, you've got a smart mouth, they're probably, you know, you're probably like talking back, and I don't know. It's very dumb.
The song indicates
you're right.
that it's a
the
positive
song is actually
saying,
pretty okay.
He's saying, what would I do without it? Like, it's a good thing. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Oh,
you know,
and here's another one from the same song. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna pick E again. I can already tell you. Let's hear the
lyric. Alright, yes, you're right. This is another one from the same song, All of Me by John Legend. The lyric is kind of the central lyric of the song, I suppose. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. And like you said, there's, you know, some implications, but honestly, it's pretty wholesome if you're really thinking about it. So, anyway, did Kidz Bop feel the need to change this one to A, give it all to me, I'll give it back to you. B, take my hand and see, we're dancing through the room. C, girl, it's clear to see, my song is just for you. D, give a smile to me, I'll give you one back too. Or E, no change.
I mean, here, alright. Here's my thinking on this. Obviously, as I said before, I think this has got to be no change. Now I'm 0 for 2 on thinking that already, so maybe I should reconsider my thinking, but there is a key difference here, which makes me probably still want to pick no change, which is that this is like the most recognizable part of the song, right? And Kidz Bop makes their money by having the recognizable parts of the song stay as close as possible. They have to, right? Because, you know, kids listening are going to kind of be... You want the kids to notice that it's different as little as possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want to just...
That's like the goal,
right? It's the song All of Me by John Legend, and then anywhere in the song where they actually said All of Me, they wouldn't change that, right?
Right. And so, if any of these had the option where the part where he sings all in the original song had all in this version, if they had in both places, I would consider picking that. Because that's, like, pretty important to the song. So A almost had me. I'll give it all to me. I'll give it back to you. That's just not... Like, none of these even sound like all. Like, take my hand, clear, and smile. None of them sound like all. Like, alright, let's look at A. Give it all to me, I'll give it back to you. That's, like, the best one here that's not that good.
Right.
Let's take B. Take my hand and see, we're dancing through the room. If you were singing this, through would be the word you held out.
Right.
That's not what you want in this song. You want a tall vowel. Girl, it's clear to see, my song is just for you. The words you're emphasizing here are clear and just. Both pretty bad. And then give a smile to me, I'll give you one back too. So smile is good. But I think one is the word you would emphasize on the back end. The back end is such a weird lyric, honestly. I mean, I'm gonna pick no change again. It's gotta be no change eventually, right? Give me no change.
I will give you no change.
I assume that means I was correct.
Yes.
Thank goodness. That would have been... Wow. Alright. I mean, the thing is, if it was like 2 questions earlier, I would have picked that no-brainer, but just as I had been wrong the previous 2 times, it's like, I feel bad doing it again, but it... Alright, let's...
Just psych yourself out in this game.
Yeah, alright, let's hit the next one.
Alright, our next question is from the song... It's not a question. It's a lyric. And it's from the song...
We always call them questions.
What?
We always call them questions, but you're right, it's not a question.
It's from the song Not a Bad Thing by Justin Timberlake. For a second there, as I was reading that, I was like, his name definitely is not Justin Timberlake. That's such a dumb name. How did I screw up typing that? But that's right, isn't it? It's right.
That is
his
right.
Name is
yep,
Justin
his name
Timberlake.
is Justin Timberlake.
I'm not saying his name is dumb. I'm just saying for a minute
That's
there,
exactly
you know how,
what you said. You just said those exact words.
I just, like, you know when you read something a few times and
right,
it starts to sound dumb?
Right. I know what you're saying.
It's got a weird name. Alright, the lyric here is, 'cause you might fuck around and find your dreams come true with me. And your options here, I mean, they probably changed this, but who knows?
I mean, they definitely changed it, but go on.
Your options here are, 'cause you might look around and find your dreams come true with me. 'Cause you might find out that your dreams are true, you'll see. 'Cause you might check it out and know Kidz Bop's the scene. 'Cause you just wait and see, you'll find your dreams just right. Or E, no change.
I gotta say, D is almost worse than E.
I think you can tell because when I was reading it, I couldn't even figure out the flow.
Yeah, you can't even figure out what it's even saying. 'Cause you just wait and see, you'll find your dreams just right. Wow. I feel bad criticizing all your lyrics, but that is not good. Alright,
I'm not offended. My goal was not to write good lyrics.
'Cause you might look around and find your dreams come true with me. That's great. That should be the correct answer, but might not be. Let's see. 'Cause you might find out that your dreams are true, you'll see. See, I don't know this song, but it seems like that would be hard to fit into the same rhythm. 'Cause you might fuck around and find out your dream... Like, it's just so much shorter. So... 'Cause you might find out that your dreams are true, you'll see. Yeah, I just don't know how you would fit that in. 'Cause you might check it out and know Kidz Bop's the scene. First of all, I love Kidz Bop's the scene. As if anyone would actually say that. But I do believe Kidz Bop would put that in a song. But I think this has the same problem as B. I think it's just too short. Because you might check it out.
Find out your dreams come true
and know
with me.
Kidz Bop's... it's actually not bad. You might check it out, right? Lines up with you might fuck around. And know Kidz Bop's the scene and find your dreams come true. It's like only 2 syllables short.
Yeah.
So that's possible.
I also don't know this song, so it could just be that... I feel like I shouldn't comment on that, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, I think you just gave away that it's not the right answer. I mean, I wasn't going to pick it anyway, so I mean... This leads me to only be able to pick A, I guess is really where this logic leads me. So A.
Fair enough. And the correct answer is obviously A.
Yes. Whew. D is a doozy of a lyric. That's like on the level of like, you know, the whole I watched you let it swim. That's like, all right. Number 7, let's hit it.
It's tragic. Number 7 is from the song Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. She says, I go on too many dates, but I can't make 'em stay. Is the Kidz Bop lyric A, I just got so many friends that all we do is play? I go on too many dates, I can't keep up at all. C, I'm hanging with my crew, we're gonna hang all day. D, I want to rock and roll, and Kidz Bop set the stage. Or E, no change.
D is tempting. That's a good lyric. So, I mean, obviously, this seems like a fine lyric. But I've been burned too much. I may not want to pick E here. I just got so many friends that all we do is play. The first half of that is awkward with the rhythm. I just got so many friends. That could work,
you gotta have
though.
an extra pickup.
Right, you have an extra pickup, but it could work. Question is, why would you change that to that? It seems like something Kidz Bop would do. I go on too many dates, I can't keep up at all. So this lyric implies that the problem with the original lyric was the second half, but I can't make him stay. Which, I don't know what's wrong with that. I think if there is a problem with the original lyric, it's gotta be I go on too many dates. Because they don't like the implication of going on a lot of dates for some reason.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
But I can't make him stay. I can't think of anything wrong with that, so... I also don't like that most of these don't rhyme. Except for D. That's what... Well, no. D doesn't even rhyme with itself. I'm hanging with my crew, we're gonna hang all day. That works with the lyrics. Or with the rhythm, rather. I'm hanging with my crew, we're gonna hang all day. So that's fine, that's like an average lyric. And then, I wanna rock and roll, and Kidz Bop sets the stage. I don't know why, but that sounds like a good lyric to me. I wanna rock and roll, and Kidz Bop sets the stage. Like, it doesn't bother me that doesn't rhyme for some reason.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And then E, of course, is a distinct possibility. So it's definitely not... I'm going to eliminate A and B. So C, D, or E. Ooh, well, when I went with my instincts last time, it worked out, so I'm going to go with D.
I want to rock and roll, and Kidz Bop set the stage.
Yeah, and the way you're smiling makes me think it's definitely not it, but...
No, it's not.
I'm drawn to it.
I'm pleased that I baited you with the Kidz Bop line. I really didn't think that would happen. The correct answer is E. They didn't change this line.
See, I think if I hadn't gotten burned on those other two, I might have picked it.
These were very strategically ordered to lure you into a false sense of I don't know, get you in the wrong Kidz Bop mindset.
I want to. That's a good lyric. Kudos to you for that one. All right. And so what am I? 3 for 7 now.
You're actually 4 for 7. You're over
7.
50%.
Well,
you've already hit your initial guess of 4 for 12. So
everything after this is just. What's the word?
Bonus?
I guess. It's like a food or something.
Dessert.
I cannot think of it.
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Alright, well, I'll try and think of it, but everything after this is just something good. It's just extra is not the word I'm looking
Sprinkles.
for. The same idea. What?
Sprinkles.
No.
Doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it's not food.
Everything after this is just...
It's like... Alright, read the next one.
I kind of feel like there is a phrase like that, but I have no idea what you're going for here.
All right, the whipped cream, but it's not whipped cream or cherry. It's like that, though. Alright, read the next one.
Alright, the next one is from the song Shower by Becky G. I didn't know this song either, and I wasn't sure whether it was shower or shower until I read the lyrics of the song, and it's very clearly about, taking a shower.
Right.
Or, not necessarily the act of taking a shower, but showering is featured in the song.
Right. And I'm sure in a very appropriate and respectful way.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
So, it wasn't, super explicit. However, there was a lyric in here, which is, all I know is that you take me high. And we know from many past questions that sometimes being high in any sense of the word, is a no-no for Kidz Bop. So, here are your choices. We've got A, all I know is that Kidz Bop's riding high. B, all I know is that I feel alright. C, all I know is that you're hard to find. D, all I know is that you're an awesome guy. Or E, no change. Maybe being high in the shower is fine with Kidz Bop.
I mean, okay, so the last one that I got wrong was I feel so high, I come alive, right?
Yeah. And the correct answer in that case, I think, was I feel so good, I come alive.
Right, so
yes,
this one is not quite as bad, because it says, you take me high, which doesn't necessarily imply being high, like, drug-wise, just means, like, metaphorically, you take me to heights or, we're soaring or whatever. But
in the shower.
In the shower, I guess. I don't know what the lyrics around this are, but
I'm actually not sure either. We can go look it up if you'd like.
Nope, that's all right.
All right.
So, but I got burned on the last one, so I definitely got to at least consider all the options here. So,
sure.
All I know is that Kidz Bop's riding high. All I know is that you take me high. Seems like too many syllables in a weird shoehorn of Kidz Bop. And now I'm very wary of the Kidz Bop option as a trap, so... B, all I know is that I feel alright. All I know is that you take me high. All you know is that I feel alright. I think it's the same number of syllables.
I think so.
All I know is that
I feel alright, you take me high.
Right. So it's good. It kind of takes away from the original meaning, which was talking about the other person building you up or you feeling a certain way around the other person. Plus this, like, I feel alright is much more of a damper than you take me high. All I know is you're hard to find. Again, syllables match up. The correct vowel sound at the end, but, like, it's just, what does that even mean? Why would you put that in? That doesn't make any sense. And D, all I know is that you're an awesome guy. Ooh. See, that guy, you get the... It's a bit more of a change than the others. Mm-hmm. But I think the syllables match up, and... Oh no, there's an extra syllable. But I think that could be... I think it could still work.
It's like an and. See, I mean, you've got you take me high or you're an awesome guy.
The thing is, you can't put too much stock in the syllables.
Yeah.
Like... It's possible to add or remove a syllable and have it still sound fine. So... Fair
enough.
The only one where it was, like, obvious... The syllables made it obvious was the... the one up the... Because the Not a Bad Thing one by Justin Timberlake, if that's his real name. Alright, right. Anyway, so... This D... still gets the meaning across of the guy being a good guy that you like. So, I like that, or no change, which I'm still considering. And by the way, let me say something else about A, not that I'm just realizing, is if the original lyric, all I know is that you take me high, is not appropriate for kids, if this lyric, all I know is that Kidz Bop's riding high, is somehow okay, there's something messed up about that.
No, it's not about being high, it's about
riding high.
Riding high.
Okay. Alright, so I'm kind of between D and E here.
Uh-huh.
Everything is thrown off because of those two that I got wrong now. It's like I can't choose what I want to choose. Because it's going to hurt more if I pick E and get it wrong than if I pick D and get it wrong. Alright, all I know is that you're an awesome guy. I think I'm gonna go with D. I'm gonna go with D. I think that's a lyric that Kidz Bop would write.
Alright, well, if it makes you feel better...
It doesn't.
It didn't matter whether you went with D or E, because the correct answer was C. All I know is that you're hard to find.
Oh, no. That is not good.
Kidz Bop strikes again.
All I know is that you're hard to find. Alright, whatever. That's bad, and kudos to you for writing these lyrics. I think that was, let's see, I would have picked D was number 1, E was number 2.
Of course.
B was number 3, and I guess it was probably a toss-up. Probably C was ahead of A, so it wasn't like the last one, but...
Right.
Alright, well, I guess I take my humility pills on that one. Let's go to the next one.
Alright. Bad job, Kidz Bop. Good job, me. And we've got number 9 from the song Love Me Harder by Ariana Grande. The lyric originally is, I'll take the pleasure, take it with the pain. Here are your choices. We've got A.
I'm liking D just initially is what I'm thinking.
I'll take a look, doesn't seem the same. B. I'll take the pleasure, it'll be so fun. C. I'll take the good times, take it with the bad. D. There's no way this is a Kidz Bop version of the song. The whole thing is a super obvious innuendo. They just wouldn't make a Kidz Bop of Love Me Harder, where a bunch of kids sing, you know, Love Me Harder.
Right.
That's pretty... or E, no change.
So,
on the other hand,
let me ask you this.
Totally fine.
The option of D is a real option that there is not actually a Kidz Bop version of this song. Is that an actual option for me to choose? Or is that just kind of a joke?
I mean, if you want to choose that, you can.
Sounds like it's a joke. Alright, so good joke. There's no way that's a Kidz Bop version of this song. The whole thing is a super huge, obvious innuendo. Alright,
Love Me Harder.
I'll take a look. It doesn't seem the same. It's a syllable off, but that's fine. I'll take a look. Doesn't seem the same. No connection at all in meaning to the original lyric. I'll take the pleasure, it'll be so fun. That seems like it's still too inappropriate, because that seems... I mean, the first half of the lyric seems like it's the main problem. Like, it'll be so fun does not make that any better, so I'm gonna eliminate B. I'll take the good times, take it with the bad. Rhythm matches up, but it doesn't really rhyme at all with the original. I don't know the lyrics that are around it, so I don't know if it matters, but that's bad, but as the last one showed, I guess I can't really rule it out because of that. There's no... Okay, and D and E, so it's not E, probably. I think they probably changed this. So A or C? See, I think A is bad enough that I can choose it. I think it's A.
All right. The correct answer is C.
Damn it! Ugh! I gave them too much of a benefit of the doubt. All right.
Yep.
All right, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I probably will. There's only 3 questions left.
There's only 3 left. Through 9, you have gotten 4 correct, which is still pretty impressive.
Way, I do want to approve of your point that I cannot believe Kidz Bop made a Kidz Bop version of Love Me Harder. I assume the chorus where they say "Love Me Harder" presumably was unchanged, right? They just still say that.
I mean, almost. Let me look this up again, because it's not just like they don't just say "Love Me Harder." It's like a long, drawn out.
Excuse me.
All right, here we go. So the chorus. Well, okay, it's not actually that bad.
Okay.
Never mind. But the way it goes is 'cause if you want to keep me, you gotta love me harder, and if you really need me, you gotta love me harder.
Right.
Gotta love me harder. Love me, harder.
I guess if you're a kid, it's not like something you really think about, and it's just saying like "love me more." So
yeah, I mean, hasn't stopped Kidz Bop in the past from changing things, but man, I just feel weird
honestly,
about that song existing as a Kidz Bop
they're just
song.
so I really do not want to listen to kids sing those lyrics, I guess is the bottom line. Like, I want to look it up to hear if these are the actual lyrics, but I also do not want to hear kids singing that, so...
You'd rather listen to my dramatic reading of the lyrics.
Honestly, yes, I would.
If you would like Alex and I to read the lyrics of songs that are wildly inappropriate in a deadpan manner. All right, let's get back to our
send us an email is what he was going to say. All right, go ahead.
Here we go. We've got another Taylor Swift song. I like Taylor Swift. This one is Blank Space. The original lyric is, "Oh my God, look at that face. You look like my next mistake." So, can't have that in Kidz Bop unless we can, because no change is always an option. But your choices are, "Oh my gosh, isn't that great? Let's be friends, I just can't wait." "Oh my gosh, look at that face. You look like my next first date." "Oh my gosh, look at that face. You look like my next mistake." So that one, for a second I was reading that, I was like, wait a minute, this is just no change again. But they do go to gosh. "Let's go hang out by the pool. Kidz Bop kids are looking cool."
Uh-oh. There's a phone call in the podcast.
Oh no. Do you have to answer it?
Nope. I was just stopping it from ringing any further.
Oh. Alright. Or E, no change.
Alright. I do believe they changed this. I think they wanted to make it "oh my god." First of all, kudos for D. That is a bad lyric. "Let's go hang out by the pool. Kidz Bop kids are looking cool." Well, actually, now that I read that again, it's not as bad as I initially thought. If you hear a voice in the background, it's definitely not the answering machine of the phone, so just ignore it. But the internal rhyme is maintained. So that's kind of the important part. "Let's go hang out by the pool. Kidz Bop kids are looking cool." Good rhythm. Go hang. I think it's too few syllables in the beginning by a non-trivial amount. But it's not something you can just immediately dismiss. Anyway, I think it's probably A, B, or C, so let's go into those. "Oh my gosh, isn't that great? Let's be friends, I just can't wait." So this one, they clearly took like the very, very platonic version of, they said, we don't want any kind of romantic implications at all. And so that's what this one would be if that was the correct answer. B,
right.
"Oh my gosh, look at that face. You look like my next first date." This is probably, in my opinion, the best one, because you get rid of the implication of the mistake, and you get rid of you get gosh in there. So yep. This is probably the best one, which means it can't be it. So I'm eliminating B. "Oh my gosh, look at that face. You look like my next mistake." This is probably not it. I think it could be it. So I'm eliminating D. Well, let's go hang out by the yeah. I wish I knew how this song went.
Trying to come up with the line right before this. I was thinking it as I was writing these out.
So the thing is, the first half is what's throwing me off. The first half is actually the correct number of syllables, but it just seemed like if I was saying it, I would say, "Let's go hang out by the pool," right? Like every other.
Right.
But the original lyric seems like two distinct things rather than like a just continuous. I think it's the emphasis.
I guess if you're not familiar with the rhythm of the song, it goes essentially just like, "Oh my God, look at that face."
Right.
So let's go hang out by the pool.
I assume like if you match it up, it goes, "Let's go hang out by the pool." It's just weird. So I'm gonna eliminate D, but
sure.
I'm not. It's deceptively good. Let's just say that. I'm eliminating D. I'm eliminating B. I'm eliminating E. So it's A or C. Yeah, A is just worse. So I'm gonna go with A.
All right, you gave me too much credit in this question. The correct answer is B.
I knew it would bite me eventually.
Next first date.
Oh no, I'm really falling apart at the end here.
Yeah, after your strong start, going 4 for 6, you've gone 0 for 4 in the past 4.
All right, let's redeem me here. Last two.
Here we go. Last two. We've got "I Lived" by One Republic, which I thought I didn't know, and then I listened to a bit of it to figure out what the heck was going on, and it turns out I do know this song. The lyric in question is, "And when the sun goes down, hope you raise your cup." Your choices are, "And when the sun goes down, hope you dance and shout." "And when the sun goes down, hope we go to bed."
Oh my gosh.
"And when the day is done, hope you find the one." "And when the sun goes down, hope you raise it up." Or "No change."
You did a great job in this test of picking a lot of lyrics that could be no change. I think in mine there were a lot of lyrics that there weren't that many that like it was a real possibility.
Yeah.
So good job for that because it's really annoying. All right. "When the sun goes down, hope you raise your cup." I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious what they would be changing it for if they changed it. "And when the sun goes down, hope you dance and shout." Not the same rhyme, but fine. "And when the sun goes down, hope we go to bed." That's way worse than the original line.
Yep.
So it better not be that one. "And when the day is done, hope you find the one." This is fine, except that there's no reason for them to change the first half of the line, and there's no reason for them to add a internal rhyme to this line.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess doesn't really eliminate it, it's just weird. "And when the sun goes down, hope you raise it up." This is very good. And even though I lost on the last one because I eliminated the best one, I think I have to eliminate that one. But it's so good. I really wish they changed it to that. Maybe they did change it to that. Oh, no. I can only eliminate, like, one of these answers. This is tough. This is a tough one. Alright. I'm just going to eliminate C because I got to eliminate some. I'm going to eliminate D. Give me A. Give me A. It's bad enough to be a Kidz Bop lyric.
"When the sun goes down, hope you dance and shout." Unfortunately, the correct answer is D.
No!
It's funny that you thought this... Okay, so first of all, I suppose it is a good lyric, so maybe that's what you were going for. However, it's an exceptionally bad line. "When the sun goes down, hope you raise it up." So there's two ways to interpret this in my mind. Number one, "hope you raise it up" is just a little bit of a different way to say "hope you raise your cup," because that's clearly what they're implying.
Right.
Or two, "hope you raise the sun up" makes absolutely no sense.
Right, so I see what you're saying. That's definitely a valid point. To me, it's obvious they're talking about the cup, not the sun.
Right. I guess I don't. So this is definitely what they did. We don't need to speak about this hypothetically. Why did they change it from "raise your cup" to "raise it up," which is clearly still talking about a cup? It's
right. So the thing is, when you're listening to a song, if there's a nonsensical lyric, or if there's a lyric that's like you don't immediately understand literally, you don't really spend much time thinking about it unless you listen to the song a lot of times, right? So
sure.
I think that they basically changed this just so that it wasn't an like when you hear "Hope you raise your cup," you immediately know that it's talking about a drink of some kind. Whether you interpret that as alcohol or not is up to the person, obviously. But
of course,
when you hear "Hope you raise it up," it's such a generic sounding line that if you think about it for a minute, you're like, okay, it's probably talking about a cup. But if you don't, it's kind of just like, oh, hope you raise it up, whatever, and move on to the next line. So I raise the roof.
Generic arm-raising motions.
Right, so...
Okay, that's fair enough. I still think it's kind of bad.
No, it's pretty dumb. You're absolutely right, and I didn't even really think about it like that until you pointed it out. So, bad job, Kidz Bop, I guess. I guess bad job me, because if I'd realized how dumb it is, I would have picked it. Alright. Let's see if I can get one more.
Our final question. I have faith in you. This one is not quite so difficult. I know the answer, so it's very easy to me. But I think you might have an easier time too. It's from the song "Jealous" by Nick Jonas. The lyric is, "'Cause you're too sexy, beautiful, and everyone wants a taste." Which is just about the dirtiest thing I can imagine a bunch of kids singing. So,
except for loving them harder.
Which is real, and they do. Anyway, your choices here are A, "'Cause you're too pretty, beautiful, and everybody likes you too." Or B, "'Cause you're too cool and funny, and pretty good looking too." C, "'Cause you won't share your snack with me, I really only want a taste." D, "'Cause Kidz Bop got those jammin' tunes, you're a great singer too." Or E, "No change."
I don't really think it's E.
I don't either.
'Cause you're too pretty, beautiful, and everybody likes you too. That's fine. Not great, but fine. Because you're too cool and funny. Okay, so first of all, none of these answers are like, this is what it should be, and therefore is not.
Right.
So that's annoying. Because you're too cool and funny and pretty good looking too. The first half doesn't line up nicely. Doesn't mean it's not it, it's just worse. Second half is fine. I mean, it's actually weird because, so, the first half doesn't line up like this, because this is how I assume that the rhythm is. You're too sexy, beautiful, and everybody wants to and everyone wants to taste. That seems like it might be it. I don't know if I know this song or not, but because you're too cool and funny is weird, and pretty good looking too. Oh, that's just exactly right. Okay, because you won't share your snack with me. I really only want to taste. I want to eliminate that, but I don't think I can. No, this can't be it. No, that's not it. Kidz Bop knows you're not 6. I hope. Because Kidz Bop's got those jammin' tunes, you're a great singer too. Just seems unlikely that they would put Kidz Bop in this lyric. Again, not implausible, but I gotta eliminate some. So I'm gonna eliminate C and D.
Fair enough.
So A or B, you're too pretty, beautiful, and everybody likes you too. You're too cool and funny and pretty good looking too. So A sounds better, I think. Actually, A's just overall better. It sounds better, and it sticks to the original meaning about the same as B. B just sounds worse because of the first half. So I'm going to go with B.
You're going to go with B?
Yeah, because it's worse.
Wow. That was a huge plot twist for me. I was getting ready to say, congratulations, you finished strong. But the answer was A.
I meant A. A is what I meant. Damn it.
So,
Kidz Bop fucked me over by being too competent in the last few.
Yeah, you had an incredible first half going 4 for 6. And then a garbage second half going 0 for 6. So,
well, at least I
mean,
was
4
exactly
for 6
right.
is you were correct.
I
first
was exactly
of all,
right in my prediction. I definitely didn't just throw the last 6 so that I could get my prediction correct. No, I actually didn't. So
I'm sure you didn't, because getting more right would be being correct more often. So even
exactly,
that's obviously preferred. But yeah, well done.
Thank you.
I think so. Some of the comments I had overall is that I should have read these all back afterwards, just as a block, like I did when I read them out loud to you. Because I think I could have inserted or kind of tweaked some of the ones that didn't fit well, and made them more believable.
Right.
Just for having that second pass through. Because I mean, obviously, I don't know about you, but my strategy was kind of stick with the general idea and then rephrase some things. And then every once in a while, just completely change something, because sometimes that happens. I love writing
lyrics that are like, this does not sound anything like the original lyric.
Yeah.
But it's Kidz Bop, so who even knows?
I really like in that last one, the I really only want a taste lyric. I just wanted something that ended in taste still, and that was the only way I could make it even make a little bit of sense. Right. And it was hilarious that you were like, I can't eliminate that. I mean, it's not that, but I can't eliminate it.
It's just like, yeah, I guess I couldn't eliminate it on like immediately after reading it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess once you think about it for a minute, you're like, okay, this is a little bit too juvenile for Kidz Bop, but
right.
The line makes sense. The rhythm lines up, and it rhymes. So it's like, those are the 3 criteria that it's like that you have to use initially to eliminate.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and it matched up with all those. So
yeah. So yeah, all I was hoping for as the lyric writer here was that for almost all the questions, at least 2 of them were viable choices. And that was almost always the case. So.
I think you hit that for every question except for one.
Except for it was number 6.
Number 6.
Justin Timberlake song.
Yeah, this was kind of a long lyric, so it's kind of hard to line up.
It was.
I everything.
Mean, they had such a sensible replacement.
Right.
That I didn't really like. I didn't think very much about the original lyric, because I knew I was going to have to change it a bit to make the other choices interesting and to give you somewhat of a So for a lot of these, what I could have done is, I think a good example of this is number 3. I feel so high, I come alive. I spent probably more time on this one than a lot of the other ones, because there are so few words.
Right.
That all of my initial impressions were, I feel so high, I come alive. I feel so good, I come alive. I feel so fun, I come alive. Just
right.
Literal single word tweaks that I felt like I had to make larger changes to make the other choices more interesting.
Right. I actually think, so if we go back to number 6, you could have definitely given me pause by just putting another one that was like this, because you might mess around and find your dreams come true with me, or something similar to that. And I think it's good to have an extra, like one that's like, because if I'm going through this, it might actually point me to the fact that it's one of these 2 that just changed one word. Yeah. But it also might, it'll make it not obvious which one it is. So
sure. Yeah, I don't know. That feels like maybe a bit of a cheap shot, giving you basically a 50-50 between 2 random words inserted in. But I mean,
I
all's
guess
fair in the Kidz Bop game, right?
That's fair, but the thing is, I want to say I definitely would have picked Look, because it's worse than Mess. But,
sure.
But I don't know if I was in that mindset at that point in the.
That's the thing, right? You're just from question to question. You're like, all right, this is obviously no change, but
I just like
it can't possibly be no change.
I played myself in too many of these questions.
You did. You had 3 straight where you chose no change, and it was not no change, and then the third one it was, and you're like, but it can't be.
Right, at least I did choose it on that one.
Yeah.
So, alright. Good job writing these lyrics for the most part. I really thought some of them were pretty funny, actually. And, like, the ones that I was talking about where I really like writing is if you look at number 9, where it's like, I'll take the pleasure, it'll be so fun. It's just like, this sounds nothing, it's just like such a random change. But, alright.
There's a point you can pass where your lyric becomes worse, which makes it more likely to be the Kidz Bop lyric.
It's so much worse than the actual, what it should be. It's like, well, maybe Kidz Bop would actually do that. And the thing is, it only works because Kidz Bop writes some terrible lyrics. Yeah,
I think we've gotta give a lot of credit to Kidz Bop for making this game possible by being so wildly inconsistent that who even knows what the right answer is on some of these.
That's exactly right. All right.
Closing thoughts?
Other than good job and I enjoyed it, no, not really.
Now that we've had both sides of the coin, I think each of us has presented answers that were not our own, and then each of us has had a chance to write an answer. Which game setup did you like best?
I kind of like presenting answers that are not my own, if only because I like being able to commentate on it without influencing you too much.
Yeah.
Like, when I commentate on my own answers, it's just too much of a... I know too much about it to not influence you, so... So that's... I mean, also, I don't like doing work, but that part wasn't really that bad.
Yeah, I'll say that I definitely... I think the most fun experience is guessing. It doesn't matter whether it's, questions that you came up with or not. I think if it's ones that you didn't come up with, you do have the freedom to comment more, which is a better overall experience. Mm-hmm. But it is pretty satisfying to know all the answers.
It is satisfying.
So
I would say it's interesting that you would say that you would prefer to guess, because I think I would prefer to give the questions overall.
I think I had more fun because of the uncertainty.
When you were guessing?
But it's more satisfying to know the answers.
This is like that Creed quote from The Office where he's like, "I've been a number of cults, both as a follower and a leader. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader."
Yep. That is exactly my feeling about this. So I think what we're getting at is in the future, if anyone else comes up with questions, please send them to Alex so that he can ask them to me.
Right. Well, here's what you should do if you, for some reason, ever wanted to put effort into coming up with these questions. First of all, you don't have to come up with a lot. Just send us like a few, like 1 or 2, if you want. We'll definitely just do them at the beginning or end of an episode. But what you should do is you should put the subject line to be something like, Kidz Bop's lyrics, "Nathan, do not read," or something along those lines, so Nathan knows not to read it.
Right.
So, all right, yeah. So, but I was going to say something similar. So if you, the listener, ever wanted to look into this, send us an email with some lyrics, and send us a separate email with the answer. Or actually, I guess it's probably not. Oh, that would be great. That way, if you send the first email with just the lyrics, then you can open it and we can both talk about it without knowing the answer. So
in fact, they really don't have to send us the answer at all if they want to hear both of our takes.
I mean, if you don't send us the answer at all, I'll go crazy. Well, I'll probably just look it up.
They should send us the answer eventually.
Well, we could just look it up.
Or we could look it up, you're right.
So, yeah, definitely do
Probably
that.
Best just to send us the answer, because we're going to find out either way.
Yeah. Alright, thanks for listening, everybody. Send us your thoughts on this format, because you haven't received any feedback on anything we've done recently, so...
Well, that's because I haven't posted any episodes in a few weeks. So
I'm just going to pretend it's the listener's fault, not yours.
But...
So bad job, listeners.
Bad job, listeners.
And that's it. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this has been our podcast,
Joel.